Good. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Pete Rainer, and welcome to Motivating Your Mondays, where every single Monday morning we're going to be bringing you some amazing words of wisdom, thoughts, motivation, affirmations, messages, or quotes that you can energize and empower yourself through the remainder of this week and for many weeks to come. Today we're actually coming to you live and on scene here at Commonwealth Coffee House. Located in San Antonio, Texas. For those of you who are not here in San Antonio, and for those of you who are, you can come on down to Davis Court over off of Broadway and Hildebrand area. It's a very nice and beautiful, quaint, exciting little place. So one of the things I want to do every single week, just like I did last week, was thank you to all of our uniformed officers, those in the military, those who are providing public service. I want to say thank you very much for everything that you do, because you provide us the opportunity to live freely and protected. And I know for me, I'm very, very appreciative. So I say thank you very much for doing what you guys do. So last week on Motivating Your Mondays, or last week's MYM was more of a not a quote or a message. It was actually a foundational formula of passion plus Y equals try. And Mr. Henry Pineda with PHP, or People Helping People, kind of shared some of his information about passion, which also included desire plus the Y, kind of like a magnet type system. And when those two things are bonded together, the Y is off the charts. So one of the things that I really want to continue to do is share, piggyback off of every Motivating Your Mondays message. So this week's MYM is I can't give you a surefire formula for success, but I can give you a formula for failure: trying nothing at all or giving up the first time you fail. A lot of the times, people, whether they're entrepreneurs or MLM entrepreneurs, tend to take a lot of things and they think they can just get to whatever it is that they're going to be doing quickly. And as a matter of fact, anything that you do, whether you're not an entrepreneur and you're in your day-to-day life, you think you just can achieve some sort of success very, very quickly. However, Malcolm Gladwell in the book Outliers speaks to this: 10,000 hours of practice to achieve mastery. Now, I'm not saying that you have to take 10,000, and he's not saying that it has to be 10,000, but anywhere around that area, right? Into it, over it, somewhere around it. It takes a lot of time to get where you're going to be. So when you look at that success formula in some way, shape, or form, you're looking at it from the perspective of, you know what? How fast can I get there? 30, 60, 90, 120, 180 days. Well, that's not the case, because it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of practice. So if you're looking to become very successful in a very short period of time, you need to understand that you've got to put in a lot more time in order for you to achieve, whatever your definition of success is. So whether, and then one of the biggest things, right? So you got to try. And then two is whether you didn't attempt at all. So that's where that particular formula comes in. And now every single week we get to bring in an interview, right? One or two interviews. And this week I actually have the opportunity to bring on Mr. Michael Espinosa from SA Business Calendar, who's going to be joining me here in a moment, to go over and kind of give his idea, his feedback of what that particular quote means to him, and how he utilizes it. I know this guy tries. We've been watching and following Mr. Mike. Mike, hey, welcome to Motivating Your Mondays.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. It's got to be great mornings now. So we've got to get up earlier, get some coffee in. It's not like we used to do. Now we're live, man.
I know. So
no mistakes.
No mistakes.
So just like last week's show, in the interview, I had mentioned that I had prepped Henry about the interview and the quote. It's not that I prepped them in their words. It's just I shared the quote in advance with them, because I want them to be able to share, in a manner that's best comfortable for them, what this quote has meant to them, how it helps them, or what it does for them if they've never heard it before, or just to have a conversation about it. So
sure.
I don't know who came up with this, but I know that I did it,
quote.
and I I found it and it makes a lot of sense. So
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I mean, you look at the first part of the quote. I can't give you a surefire formula for success. When I look at this quote, I see. First of all, the question is, what is success?
yeah, true.
And I'm sure the first thing that pops. Everybody has their own definition of
They do.
success, and that's what makes it so interesting.
Mhm.
My definition of success at my age now is quite different than it was 25 years ago.
That's a fantastic point. I say that too. That everybody's definition of success is different, right? But I never touched on that part. Like it really is. It changes along the way because you grow, right? Certain ages, you move, you move, you move, you move, you move. You grow, you grow, you grow, and then at some point you gotta identify what that next level of success is for you.
Right? Because I could say myself, I think one of my definitions of success is to always continue to learn new things. I feel successful when I'm learning new things, and it's something all my life I remember always striving to learn more, and that's I've been in the technology industry for years, and I think that's one of the reasons I like being in the technology industry because I'm always having to learn new things, constantly learn, and there is no ultimate. I learned it all.
Yeah, exactly. What? And that goes into the trying part, right? So last week's formula was passion plus why equals try. You seem to have a passion and excitement for it. If not, you wouldn't have been doing it this long.
Absolutely.
And then you just keep trying it, right? Otherwise, if you would have stopped and never did it at all, then I think that would be the definition of failure. I just never really going the extra step to get an idea of what it is that you want to do, like what you're doing now, right, with SA Business Calendar.
Yep.
I had mentioned to you before, there have been attempts at this throughout the years. I even at one point wanted to start a calendar, but I found it that while I was trying to do other things and build my business, it was kind of tough for me to try to put that calendar together because of what you guys have done in the calendar. It's been amazing, but
So one thing we did to try to be successful at this, when I originally had the idea, was okay. What am I going to do? Who am I going to talk to make sure I can make this as successful as possible? So what I want, I remember you and I had a conversation at one point. I had a conversation with at least 8 to 10 different people that have attempted, run, or are currently doing a calendar, and I asked them point blank, "What'd you do right? What'd you do wrong? Can you help me? Let me know." I mean, I want to try to make as few mistakes as possible. I know I'm going to make mistakes. We all make mistakes when we try anything new. But what can I learn from them to help me be successful? And they were so helpful. And that's the nice thing about asking people for help. If you ask them sincerely, it's fantastic the way people are so helpful. I think people want other people to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
I really do.
They do. You hear it a lot. The statements where people don't like they try to pull you down when they see you having some sort of success because they didn't quite do that. And I'm glad that in your instance that the help was there. The help was there. I remember a couple of businesses in my past. I reached out to a couple of businesses that if we would have married the two just from a collaborative standpoint, that we would have gone a lot further. But in that instance, I didn't have that connectivity with the individual, no matter how sincere I tried to be. I tried it in several ways. So in your experience, I'm glad that turned out well for you. But had you not attempted at all, right, if you not tried, then you literally I would have considered it failure, at least in my opinion, because you had the thought, right? And many of you out there have a thought or you have something that you want to do, but you're not really trying, right? You got to put it into action, which is where the try comes in order for you to even find out whether you failed.
Absolutely.
Don't even fail before you actually fail, right? So, and that's why I like this quote quite a bit because you can't give that. Like even last week's was passion plus why equals try. It wasn't a formula for success. It was a foundational formula that says, you know what? If I apply this to my world on a daily basis and I think about it, if I'm excited about it, I can move forward and do it. Now this week's trying is more about try, and you guys do that, right? You do it all the time.
I mean, I'm very we're happy with the success the calendar's had so far, but there's many times, to be honest, I said, why am I doing this? Did I make the wrong decision? Because I mean, we had the site hacked within the first couple of months. We had the software go down. I mean, one issue after another, but I don't know, come with age, experience. I knew things like this would happen. I know younger entrepreneurs just starting out maybe have not been through that so many
Mhm.
times, so they may want to give up early.
Oh,
Don't.
yeah.
You've got to
Don't.
persist. You have to keep going, because every one of those things is a learning experience.
Nice. And you know what's cool is that I know Matt's here today. He's off camera, but he is back there, and I like that he sees that as well. I see the try in him all the time. Everything that he does the startup grind to say, which I'm assuming you guys will talk about in the next
Yes.
show, right? Coming up. But there's that trying. I really like to see the trying in just about everybody, especially if they're entrepreneurs. So
And I'm sure he'll admit, I mean, at a young age, there's probably times with startup grind he probably wanted to say, you know what, forget it, enough, but
it
when
happens,
you
man.
persevere through, yeah, you
It
just
certainly
keep going.
it certainly happens. Hey, Mike, I want to say thank you very much for being here this
I
morning.
appreciate
Really
it.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Here in a moment, you're going to get to see more of Mike and Matt on their SA Business Calendar show. But as we're closing out the show here, I want to finalize this part of this week's MYM, and you kind of heard it, you summarized it there, was you absolutely need to put forth the effort. Go out and try, and then fail, and fail fast, fail often, or fail. What is it? It's fail hard, fail fast, fail often, or something like that. So but you have to go through the failures in order to actually succeed. But you have to learn from those failures along the way. And all that is if you continually fail, that means you're trying. Now you do have to learn those. So that's where I'm at on this week's quote. So one of the biggest things that I want you to do is take that information, the quote, utilize it every single week. And where can you find Motivating Your Mondays? Well, there's a couple of places. You can find the live version here on Live and On Scene every Monday morning at 8 a.m. And at the same time, you can also find it on Facebook. We've been putting on these Motivational Mondays for like 8-9 years now. And it was every single Monday, but it was all in the digital form, sent it out through email. So you can find them there. Now what we're going to end up doing is what we showed and displayed on the show here, we're going to post it over on MYM as well, so that you can see it, revert back to that as often as you possibly can. So that way, whatever it is that you're doing, whatever obstacle, whatever struggle, revert back to this week's MYM. It may not fit the struggle, it may not help you in this instance, but what I really wanted to do is make you mindful of how you can have more of a positive mindset and moving forward with the rest of your day, the rest of your week, how to fight through the challenge. So it's the ability to develop the mindset to provide solutions for whatever it is that you're going through right now. Upcoming shows here on Live and On Scene every single Monday. We start at 8, and at 8:30 we have Michael Espinosa with SA Business Calendar at 8:30. So you're going to want to stick around for that because they're going to give you, Mike and Matt are going to give you some updates on some great events that are occurring in and around San Antonio, and then hopefully with some great expansion, they'll be able to connect with other people all throughout, United States, hopefully. Now, one of the biggest things that I really do believe in is the application of education equals knowledge, right? So don't just take the information that we're sharing with you here and just kind of hoard it to yourself and not really do anything. What I really want you to do is I want you to hear it, listen to it, learn it, and then apply it to your world and then live it. Because without those things in place and without you actually applying whatever it is that you learned, you're not really going to be able to take advantage of any of the growth that you could actually have. And before we actually head out, I want to actually show you, we're going to go to a video here in a little bit about where we're at today at Commonwealth Coffee House and Bakery here in San Antonio, Texas on Davis Court over off of Hildebrand and Broadway area across the street from Trinity University, if I'm not mistaken. No, Incarnate Ward University. So there's two university plugs right there. So we're going to show you some of that here on Live and On Scene. They took some footage beforehand, so you get an opportunity to really take a look at it. And then once you see the footage, you're going to fall in love with it. You're going to want you to come out here and have your own cup of coffee and some of your own pastries as well. And I'm going to close the show, guys. So, as always, I want to say KMF, keep moving forward.
DJ in the past life.
lot of years, Chris. That guy.
Oh, really?